In three, two.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally back with another episode of the Manhood Tree podcast. Last week we took the week off because somehow I got COVID. But I'm back this week. I'm very happy. Oh, who am I, you might say? Well, my name is Abdul-Rahmaan I. I'm the executive director of My People Clinical Services. I thought I would give myself a better introduction. Sometimes I just go into, hey, I'm Abdul, and everybody's supposed to know me. So I just figured I would tell people who I really am. Yes, Abdul-Rahmaan ibn Muhammad, executive director of My People Clinical Services, Community Services, founder of the Dream Support Network, creator of the Manhood Tree.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, this podcast is one of the Manhood Tree initiatives. We have three other initiatives. We have our group. We have the Fatherhood Manologues. We have the Men's Health initiatives. We currently have our 156-day challenge. Ooh. Jesse, what day are you on right now?
I didn't know about this challenge.
Oh,
He's
as much as no, he's not. I see him. We're trying to basically work out for 156 days this year.
That's easy.
Yeah,
that's what we say.
That's easy. But we're tracking it. And I just want to you know what? That's me. I like to introduce my co-host with the mostos.
My name is Alonzo Beckett.
Lee. Oh, there we go.
Lee. Middle name, it's, South. Everyone got it's Lee. Alonzo Lee. I used to get called that when I was young.
Jimmy Lee.
That's
Alonzo
right.
Lee. Yes. I'm the owner of Any Video Entertainment. We're out of Harvard, Connecticut, 1011 Lane, Sport Factory. Come over and holler at us.
Yes.
That'll be it.
On today's show, we brought in a special guest. He's been here before. Principal White, go ahead. Why don't you introduce yourself? Let's see what you can say.
I really can't say much other than, my name is Jesse White. Yeah. Jesse John White III.
Jesse John White.
That's right. Principal Bloomfield High School. Also attend and I'm a minister at the First Church of the Living God.
Nice.
Also, the creator and founder of Kingdom Culture LLC.
Yes.
Home of Anti-Can.
Anti-Can.
Home of A is for Affirm.
Yes.
Home of the Kingdom Culture Pack.
All
of that kind of stuff.
Got it all.
Yeah,
That sounds crispy.
Oh, yeah, having fun.
Yeah.
Oh, since we are doing our full middle names, my name is actually Abdul-Rahmaan Rahim Ibn Muhammad. So you might as well put the whole, on them.
Go for it.
So, tonight, you know what, Jesse, what we've been doing at the beginning of our shows,
yes,
what we've been doing is having our guests lead us in a meditation minute.
Lead us.
Just to get us, grounded.
But you know that because you've been watching all the shows.
Yeah,
so you know
of
course,
you've been watching all of our shows.
Reminding them, that's all.
I'm actually supposed to be at a game right this moment.
Hey, we're happy you came out tonight.
Yeah, man. Go all blue. What is it? Warhawks?
Warhawks. So yeah, we started doing our mindfulness minute, our meditation minute. It could be mindfulness, it could be meditation, but we like to let you lead us in that to get us started. And so, just about a minute or so, what do you have for us tonight?
All right. So one thing that I believe in is meditation, as it is in Scripture, means to recite or rehearse, right?
Yes. Yep.
And the idea behind it is as a cow eats, it's called a ruminant, right? And what it does is it chews and then it goes down in the stomach, and then it comes back up. And you'll see a cow will chew again and it comes back up, right?
Yes.
And so these are the things that I will say every single day, no matter what. Whenever my children, when they were riding with me to school or whatever the case is, I would say it to them, and it's something I've also included in my Manologue.
Nice.
And so it starts off, and I don't know if you all repeat after me or how this goes.
You tell us what to do.
All right, so then repeat after me.
Yes.
I am the head.
I am the head.
And not the tail.
And not the tail.
I am above.
I am above.
And not beneath.
And not beneath.
I am the lender.
I am the lender.
And not the borrower.
And not the borrower.
I was created.
In
the image.
Of
God Almighty.
And
because He is creator.
I am creative.
I am creative.
Because He is king.
He has given me.
Dominion.
Over all the earth.
I dominate.
I am anointed.
I'm anointed.
I am blessed.
I'm blessed.
I'm covered.
I'm covered.
I'm dominant.
I'm dominant.
I'm excellent.
I'm excellent.
I'm fruitful.
I'm fruitful.
And I think that's a good minute of affirmation and meditation.
Come on, give it up for us. Thank you.
Let's go.
All right, this is a. I feel like that I feel that was actually I like that. That gave me a good motivation. It's like sometimes the powerful I am, is something that I love to do all the time. And the beautiful thing about it is you can be anything you say you are. I am. So I think the way that you got us going was perfect. All right, so I had this conversation. This is a deep conversation. Me and my boy Dave were on the phone talking, Zoe.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that usually mean?
A lot of guy.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna
they call each other guy all the time.
I thought you were gonna say tomfoolery.
Dave.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but on this day, I'm working on a speech for Black History Month.
Okay.
And so we were talking, and somehow it hit me that like I've been doing a lot of reading about just Black history stuff. You're a teacher.
Yeah.
You know Black history stuff.
I know some.
So if I were to say to you, you're going to give a Black history speech, what would you talk about? What would be the first topic to come to your mind for a Black history discussion?
I think the first thing for me for Black history is the fact that we truly do get to stand on the shoulders of giants, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I like legacy.
For example.
So one example, and I'm getting one example I could think about is Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Of course.
Yes.
And the reason why, I know he's like a common one, but when I got to learn more about him and learn about the fact that he worked in Simsbury, Connecticut.
Wow.
Right? My house actually, before they redistricted, my house is in Simsbury, Connecticut.
Right.
Right now it's in Bloomfield, but it was in Simsbury.
Yeah.
And so riding my bike, one summer, I got to ride by the area and it has like a plaque, Dr. King worked here.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
He's also an educator. He's also a preacher.
Right.
And he's in my fraternity.
That's right.
And so those are things that like I think about when adversity comes, and I'm like, you know what? He was up against adversity,
right?
And this is what actually happened for him. So it's more than just I have a dream speech.
Yeah.
But the other piece is he was an amazing orator.
He was an amazing orator.
Oh my god!
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. So it's interesting. So I too thought about legacy when I was thinking about my speech, but I started off thinking about how when Black fathers were enslaved, when Black husbands were enslaved, that on any given day, a Black husband, his wife, could be taken by the master.
That's right.
And the master could do whatever he wanted to do with her, and the husband, there was nothing he could do about it.
Nothing.
As a father, his child could be sold.
Mm-hmm.
His child he loved, he had to live his life in a way where he knew that on any given day, his child could be taken and be sold.
Yep.
So it got me to thinking about the power of just even if we take the two of you, for example,
yep.
How we just were talking about your father, right? And some of us don't all come from perfect father backgrounds. Mm-hmm. But the fact right now that you, Alonzo Lee Beckett, is a father, and you're married, to me, that's Black history.
Absolutely.
When you think about where we came from, and some of us, not even a generation, I think about my own father, right? My father, he never met his father until he was 25 years old. My father didn't meet his own father until he was 25. But my father stuck in there with my mother. He was married to my mother. He raised us 6 children, right? He had 2 other kids, but he raised us 6 children. And he was a father to us. You're a father. You're a husband. These are things that were taken away from us. This is something in our history. It wasn't normal for us to be able to be a father and to be a husband and be there for our kids and see them go to college. Right now, you have a daughter in college.
Let's go Huskies.
Right? So even if you think about education,
Yeah.
We could not be educated.
Yeah.
And so when you think about our history, being a black father is a historical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Being a black father is black history. I know Dr. King, he had 4 children, and he was a husband, and he was a great orator. But the thing is right here in our community, I can name 10 men. I can name 10 men who are fathers, who are husbands, who are homeowners, who have children in college. I told Dave, who me and him often get on the phone and talk a bunch of tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery.
A bunch of tomfoolery. But my boy Dave has been married for 20 years. My boy Dave is a father. He has one of the best relationships with his daughter that I ever have seen in my life. He has 2 children in college right now. Dave works sometimes 16 hours a day.
He has to.
16 hours a day, right? And I don't think I've ever heard him complain.
There you go.
This is historic, because in the past, every time a black father, a black man tried to do something like that, there was always a fight. There was always something that was preventing us from being able to go up to that high level, high standard. And it was normalized for us to be able to walk away. Even the whole system was set up, right? They set up a whole system where they said, well, we'll give welfare to your wife, to your children, but we ain't going to give it to your man.
That's right.
So the man had to be outside of the home in order for the family to be able to get the support that they needed. You see what I'm saying? And so...
But then they wouldn't give him the job that he needed in order to be able to fully support his family comfortably.
So for us to be in a position 1 generation later, 2 generations later, where we are the head of our homes, where we are working, where we are parenting our children, where we are preparing for the next generation, I just want to say I appreciate, like Jesse John White, you the third. No, are you the third? That's right. You are Black History.
I think, I'm about to make a shirt. Yeah. That's the next shirt. I am Black History.
I am Black History.
That's the shirt for this month.
And so, what do you think? What do you guys think about my speech? Where I'm going with it?
I like it.
You like it?
I think it's fire.
If I could build it a little bit,
I think it's fire.
This was a tester.
Yeah, I think if you think about the fact that during a time, especially like the time where the enslaved Africans brought us here, right? It was a threat to even be a strong man.
Right.
They would do stuff. I found out about this like as an adult called buck breaking.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Where they would like really try to emasculate men, and especially the stronger ones. So it's like, I need you to work in the field. I can use you for that.
Yes.
But at the same time, don't think that you're stronger than me. Don't think that you're tougher than me.
That's right.
And I'm gonna break your family. I'm gonna do all that kind of stuff to mess with your mental, to mess with your physical.
That's right.
Yet and still, we rise.
That's right. And see, the thing about Black History Month, especially when we talk about African American Black history, right? You can't not talk about slavery. Because it represents such a large piece of our history. Yeah. Out of our 420 some odd years of history, 240 of it was slavery.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then another 100 of it was the fight for civil rights. Yeah. Right? So you got another 100 years. So that it's just the last 50 years or so that we have had actually equal rights and being able to make moves and try to do things in an equitable manner. And we're not even there yet, but we're getting closer. And so it's really one of those things where I just feel like it's important for us to recognize sometimes we always go to the big names. Mm-hmm. And I love Malcolm X, and I love Martin Luther King, and I love the big names, Frederick Douglass, right? But I feel like the names that people may not know yet are the ones that are really making history, because that is a change in our community.
Absolutely.
Every time we get into a room together, people don't know, like sometimes when we doing the fatherhood monologues, we'll have 20 men around who are married, who are working, who have children, those 3 things right there are some of the most powerful things that as a men we could be able to do. Yep. And so that's the direction I'm thinking about.
I like where it's going. Where do you have to give the speech?
I'm giving it on Saturday at Mystic. brother Kevin Booker is
Okay.
He's asked me to come down there. Hopefully I'll pull it together. Yeah, I'll wing it one way or another. We'll get it.
You gonna get
We'll
it.
get it done. We'll get it done. All right. One of the topics I had today is what is one of your greatest fears or concerns? This is one of my topics today.
Mm-hmm.
One of your and I want you to take a second and think about it. One of your greatest fears and concerns. A lot of times as men, we don't talk about things that we're fearful of because we always have to play the role like we fear nothing. But there are some things I'm sure that we are fearful of or have concerns about.
I think I know what I'm fearful of. You probably know that, but I'm fearful of we all die.
Yes.
But I'm fearful that I'm going to die. I don't want to die, and I could have avoided it. Right?
Okay.
I don't want to be it'd be my reason. Like I can walk outside and get hit by a car,
right,
or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't avoid it or whatever. But if it's something I could avoid, like the pre-screening stuff, the eating right, or just being aware of something. If I didn't know and then I end up getting something, all right, whatever.
Yes.
But if I know, so I can consciously make sure that doesn't happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I do what I do, because I'm fearful of going when I still think I have a lot to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to be unhealthy or be my fault.
So what are you doing to prevent yourself from meeting that concern? So what do you do on a daily basis? Basically, you have a routine.
Right. So yeah, I work out and I eat right. I take my 98 essentials.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm constantly learning what to eat and what not to eat, because 1 minute this is good, next minute is not.
Right.
Right. So I'm just constantly learning about. So I feel like I'm just do the best I can at it.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, find out what I should be eating, what I should and shouldn't be eating, how much exercise I should have, or cardio, all that. Right. I can get the knowledge and just apply it to myself.
Yep.
Like you do anything, like baking a cake, editing, whatever. So apply that, take the pride that people normally take in other things that really matter, not their health.
Right.
So I try to take pride in my health as much as I would my profession or anything like that. So
yeah.
That's all.
Jesse, what about you?
It's funny. I have a funny one,
mm-hmm. Okay.
And I have a genuine one.
Yeah.
My funny one is I do not want to be like an incontinent old man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's
not funny. That's serious.
It's not right. I don't want to be I got messed up. No,
right.
I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
But I think honestly, in terms of anything concern, I want my children to grow up and be sound contributors to the society, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I don't want them to grow up and not say fail, but I don't want them to be failures because of something I didn't teach them or didn't train them to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want to be able to prepare my children for the next dimension in their lives.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest fears is similar to yours, but more from a business standpoint, is that I don't do something and then we end up failing. The everything falls apart. I earlier today I was talking to somebody, and a lot of the people who, when we started My People, there were a lot of businesses similar to My People. And over the years they've kind of all disappeared. They're not around anymore. And so I'm constantly thinking about okay, how do I make My People last another 100 years, where long after I'm gone, as opposed to in my lifetime it kind of crumbles because we didn't make the right steps, we didn't do the right things, and because I really look at it this is an opportunity to establish some kind of legacy or something like that, and so I don't want to be responsible for, because of my lack of knowledge, because of my lack of connections, because of my lack of because of my hubris, whatever it is, because sometimes it's something like that. It might not just be knowledge that makes us lose everything. It's because now the person with power says man, look at this dude. We're not going to give them any referrals. We're not going to work with them anymore or whatever. And so I just want to make sure that I continue to be at the right place at the right time, and I keep myself humble, and I allow myself to constantly continue to learn, and also lift other people up. One of the things I do now is I try to stay out of the way of my wife, allow her to have space for her arms and wings to grow, because she's growing too.
Yep.
And so like the both of us growing in different ways and pushing things up. I feel like that's very important, and I just hope that we end up in the right place because it's still a lot of time that we need to go by. Yeah. Like we're still talking about in my lifetime, I'll probably be here for another 20 years, just working in different things. Mm-hmm. And so, how do I get to that? How do I get to the next 20 years just for me being here? And then how do we set up things where 20 years after that, things are able to continue to go?
Time is flying. Like I can remember. I probably have like 14 years until I call it revive. I don't call it retire, right? Yeah. I feel like I wasn't tired before, so why am I gonna be tired now? Like,
that's right.
I want a new life, right? Like revive, right? Yeah. And so I probably have like 14 years until I can like fully revive, right?
Yeah.
But I remember when I was first starting, like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 24 years ago, like I was just getting started, right? And I feel like time just flew. I see some of the people I was working with and how they're like moving on and they're doing all, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, and then the other piece is you start to see, and I don't know if you all like experience this. You guys are much older than I am.
Not that much. We're not even a decade older.
But I feel like I'm starting to see people move off the scene.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And it's like quicker. And I'm like, yo, what in the world? Yeah. And so I feel like it's very, very important that we like really put it all in context. Like how quick time moves and how and what you really have to get done and get done now.
Yeah.
You really don't have a lot of time to like just, sort of like let the days pass. Like you really got to make the most of each and every day.
I think that and using that, you can use that to your advantage. People say like it goes by so fast. So I think like you to be in your profession or whatever, it sounds like it took a long time, but in your head it didn't. Right? So it could be used both ways. So all you have to do is, whatever you want to do in life, you put your head down, before you know it, it's going to be 10 years, 15 years. So it's like it goes both ways. So some people will be like, oh, it takes forever to get this or whatever. But once you're in it, let
me ask you this. Do you plan to retire?
No.
How do you see yourself?
I don't even know how to.
How do you see yourself at 70 years old? Like at 70 years old, what are you going to be doing?
I think that the technology will change.
Yes.
And that's where it will be for me. Because it'll change.
So you think you'll be out of the technology? Or
no,
technology will put you out?
Like, I never knew about the AI. We wasn't talking about that about 5 years ago.
Right, yeah.
That's like my assistance. I didn't think that was there. So I have things going on right now while we're sitting here.
Yeah.
It's automated.
Yeah.
So I don't know, another 5-10 years, I may not have to do anything.
Yeah.
Just know, because I'm in the industry, so I know a bunch of things that you two don't know because you're not on the computer every day.
Right.
So another 10 years, I'll probably know something else.
Yeah.
That's going to like push along. So I think the technology, as it turns, I'll kind of use it to whatever that is. Because I can't necessarily see like not editing.
Yeah.
Like, I like to edit.
Right.
So I can't necessarily see that. It just has to be
more products getting
something
more. See what I like to think about are the cogs. I'm all about the cogs. Mm-hmm. See, I just want the cogs. Like, I want to come up and put a little oil on the cog and just make sure that all the cogs are working. And that's it. I may not do, like right now, I'm not trying to necessarily, like right now, we do the Manhood Tree stuff because I'm into it. Like, this is my work, right? And so I'll do that. But I just feel like as long as we can keep all the cogs moving, like one of the big things I think about for like my people is the columns. So we have one column, our supportive housing column. That's a pretty strong column. And I feel like we need like 2 more strong columns. And that means like, $1 million. It's like at least $1 million, right? And so it's like, and it's not, before it used to be easier to do that, believe it or not. And now it's a little bit harder trying to figure out how do I get this new column and how do I get it to that level of productivity. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's what I spend my time trying to like think about.
But what do you think? Why do you think it's harder now than it was?
Well, before we were a for-profit, and basically there was opportunities out there. It's interesting. The people that were in position at the time when we started, they were in the lower positions. And now that they're in the higher positions, when you're in the higher positions, you try to prevent guys like me from getting in the door. when you're in the lower position, you need guys like me because I make things happen. Yep. But in the higher position, you want us to follow the system. Yep. So all the people, if you know inside like DCF, some of the people we work with, the people that are at the top now are all people we know. They're all good people. They're not bad, but they're in a position now where they want you to follow the system because they're the system now. Yep. Before, all of us used to break the system. Yep. You know what I'm saying? We would do the thing where we'd be like, yo, we're going to do this because this is the need in this area. Yep. And I don't care what the system wants. The people need this. Mm-hmm. And so at the time, we came in at a time when the need of the people was so strong that we were able to come and say, yo, I could do mentoring right now. Mm-hmm. I could do in-home therapy right now. Yep. And I was able to do that. I had 100 staff like that. And so therefore, we were able to meet the need. Now, the people at the top, the people that used to like go against the system to make the system bend, they're the system.
But you know what's interesting? So taking that same analogy, and I think about like education, right? Yeah. So when I'm a teacher, I'm rocking out, I'm doing my thing, I know what works for my kids, right? Now that I'm an administrator, it's like
you're the system.
Right. But I see it from a different perspective, right? I see that you may not necessarily, you might think that you know, but looking on the bigger scheme, this is it's not working, right? It's not sustainable, right? Maybe. Yours might work, yours might not. But if I let y'all both ball out together, I'm gonna have,
but you might have a great point. It's like before, all of our focus was Hartford. Mm-hmm. We don't even care about nothing outside of Hartford. We were focusing on Hartford. Now he's the system. He's the state. Yeah. Right?
You gotta look at everything.
You gotta look at everything. And if I'm giving this to you, why am I not giving it to them? Yep. And so it's an interesting thing, but it's like one of the things that I also feel that I have to do is find, like, everybody moved up. So it's like you said, we all moved up, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that there's still another gap. Mm-hmm. And if I could find that gap, I'm gonna open that gap up and make that gap be wide as I can get it. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were gonna say when you're talking about the cog.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the zipper.
Okay.
So you ever see like you got clothes, whatever? As a matter of fact, if you're watching this online right now, if you go and look at a zipper, out of all of your clothes, at some point, like if it's a good hefty zipper, look at it's gonna say like YKK on it. You ever seen that? Right?
Yeah.
And so with those, like I found out that the people that's all they do. They make that zipper.
Yes.
They're $1 billion company.
Of course.
Right? Just making that one little thing.
Yes.
And so I think that like for me, that's what, like when you talk about like what are you gonna be at 70? Well, I want to just be able to think, because whenever I get a vacation and I think it's something else is coming out. Let's move. Right? And I'm like, I wanna have that one thing that is like, okay, yep, you got the coconut water, that little green nozzle in there. I wanna create that. Or I wanna do something so everybody needs it. Yes. You know what I mean? Patent that bad boy.
Well, it's interesting. Now that I'm like, since I turned 50, I've no, serious. Ever since I turned 50, I feel like I'm officially like an OG now. I don't know if you guys already thought I was an OG. Did you guys think I was an OG already? I feel like it. Like I feel like I'm the OG now, and I'm just gonna give you some.
What does OG feel like?
It feels like I'm about to tell you some stuff.
Okay, go for it.
Like I feel like, hey, young brother, like you only 44, so I'm about to tell you your young self some information.
Go for it, OG. I'm just gonna call you OG.
Yeah, call me OG. So now that I'm OG, I feel like you need to take advantage of that youthful energy. Because when I was 44, I used to have ideas like that all the time too. Yeah. They don't come as fast anymore. That's when you become an OG. Now, some things have happened to me that aren't going to happen to you, right? But the thing is that we take for granted. Like I was telling Deshelle, I called Deshelle up one morning. I get up out of bed. It was the day after dialysis, right? So I get up and I call my wife and I tell her, yo, I lost my superpowers. I'm like, I always make these references. I make references to myself like I'm Superman. And I'm like, you remember when Superman gave up his powers for Lois Lane?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You felt like
I lost my powers. I used to be a wonder kid, man.
Well, you know what's funny? The other day, so you had COVID, right?
Paxlovid.
For the first time ever since this whole thing happened.
That's right. You had it.
It pained me to say.
You didn't want to say it.
Yo, I got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was, oh my gosh. I tell my staff, I be like, you earthlings, y'all get sick. I never take a day off.
Yeah.
You earthlings, this, that, and the third, right?
Right.
And so I'm gonna say this. When I had COVID, I didn't really, the reason I took it, it was almost like not say a joke, but just the rule. I had a scratchy throat.
Yes.
And I said, let me just go ahead and take this test.
Got to take that test.
And it came back positive.
Everybody said you gave it to me.
Stop.
Yo, everybody said Jesse gave it to you, man.
How did I give it to you?
Hey, man, I'm telling you what they were saying around the office. Everybody in the office was like, it was Jesse.
How did they know that I had COVID?
I told them.
So you put it out there.
Hey, man, I be putting stuff out in the streets, man.
Man. Hey. I'm going to tell you this. I like, it was weird, right? Yeah. So, of course, the worst part about it for me is, like, now I'm back at work, and people are like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, shut. Like, am I okay? Like, I'm always okay.
You're always okay.
But I did feel at that point, like, yo,
you're human.
I'm a mortal human person. But then you see what I've been doing, like, for the past week.
What?
Out,
going
like,
extra?
Like
going
8:30 at night, getting out there in the cold.
You going to do that tonight?
Running. I ain't even eat dinner yet. I might go home and eat.
Eat a little dinner.
Yeah.
Go for a run.
And I'll be heavy.
Yeah, you never go after that.
But maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow? Okay.
I'll be out there just.
But the thing is that I was telling her that I don't feel like I have that little spark.
Yo, you got it, B. You got it. I think here's the thing.
I don't have it.
You have it. I'm telling you this.
Okay, give me a motivation.
So it's a couple of things. One, I'm stopping by the office tomorrow. Like, yo, he got it on his own. He's out here in the world doing that's not, but here's the thing. I think sometimes we don't realize what we do have.
Right.
That's number one. I think that there are people who are looking at you like, yo, like he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this, and to you it's become normal or mundane.
Right.
But in reality, it's like, nah, you really, like, when you sit back and look at everything in perspective, you got a lot of things going, like a lot of initiatives. That's number one. Yeah. The second thing is, I think that when we reach a certain plateau, right, you're not as hungry because you don't have to be. It's almost like Rocky in the movie Rocky, right?
Yeah.
He's fighting, but Clubber Lang was like, I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
You know what I'm saying? And so
I like to be in that position better.
Yeah.
I like to be hungry.
Me too.
You know what? You do, then you don't. I tell people, like, I see some people like say they're in my position.
Yeah.
I see them from afar. I'm like, man, I remember that. I used to like that.
Right.
Because I was like, man, there's so much you could do.
Yes.
And like now, like you said, I'm at a point where it's like, I do, like, you have all this stuff, other stuff going on. But in my head, it's a lot of stuff that's not done.
It's not done. Right.
So it's like, it's constantly, and then it doesn't, it's like, it just takes more to make me excited now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I do a bunch of stuff. Like, before, it's like, oh, you're going to go to LA and go tape this guy.
Right.
I was like, yo. But now it's like, man, time to flight leave. Man.
Right.
Like, jeez, how long will it be?
It's normalized. Yeah.
Right. So it's like now, I'm looking for like other things.
You need a greater high
to make me feel like.
See, one of the tricks though that I always operate from is I never allow like good news. I never overreact to good news. Mm-hmm. It's like one of my defense mechanisms. Mm-hmm. If somebody tells me some good news, I just act like it's like, all right, it's another day in the, let's keep moving. It ain't no big deal, because I feel like you get too excited, you get too high, then it's like, they'll pull the sheet up from under you like, I got you. Mm-hmm. And so I just kind of like always try to keep it cool on the good news.
There's this book that I just finished. It was the first book of this year called it was called Choose Your Enemies Wisely.
Okay.
By Patrick Bet-David.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like, his philosophy of like choosing somebody or something, and it's like, you know what, they hate me. They can't stand me. And using that in order to propel you.
Yeah.
Right? Similar to like what Jordan did on was it the last things he's like, oh, you ain't want to shake my hand?
Mm-hmm. Oh, then he uses that as ammunition.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's the thing. Like now, it's like people, oh, you're this or you're that, and you've reached this and you've reached that. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, I'm like, they can't stand. They trying to get me.
Mm-hmm.
So
see, I don't operate like that. I operate off of love. If I find out somebody doesn't like me, I'm always like, I'm surprised by it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, really?
I'll be honest with you. Like, I feel like it's like you gotta have a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? Like
little dog.
Yeah, little like.
Yeah. Every time I see someone, if I do some work with you, and I see a video of somebody else, I'm upset.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, yo, okay.
Right.
I'm not gonna call to ask me. This is right. I just feel that way, even though we're still cool. Just
right. You know,
I know there's other people that do it, but I'm thinking,
Matt's been putting up a lot of videos too. I was waiting for you to have your whole setup in here today.
Matt's good.
I thought we were gonna have. I thought you were gonna have a little camera over there.
Matt's got the camera just for himself. I say you're doing great for yourself. Oh, that's great. No, it looked good. I'll give him some advice. Hey, Matt's fine.
Yeah, you're okay with that.
Matt's not paying himself.
No, he's not.
Matt's trying not to pay me, which is fine. You only fine. As long as you get he got the equipment, he bought everything I told him to get.
He got it.
So you can go ahead and do it. I have no problem in that.
He told me to send him my videos. I'm gonna send him my videos, and he said he's gonna dump it in there and do some edits for us.
If he start editing, it's over. Matt wins. If he starts, he's a pastor. He's everything. He wins.
He has a program.
He wins.
I just like Matt is. He's probably one of the most, like, I'm probably most proud of him. Like, out of these young guys.
He is, yes.
I mean, I say,
I would say he's my mentee. Would you guys say that?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yes. No doubt.
I help him. I help make Matt.
He's better. You know what? And in public, he'll be better for your reputation.
For my reputation?
You bring Lance, like, you know him, like,
Lance, get him out of here. For a second. I'm looking for a new Matt right now.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I always like to be around like a young. Let's make an announcement. Me, Jesse, and Zoe are all looking for mentees.
Let's go.
We need a young male who is ready to just do something.
But you know what though? You know what makes it different? What? So I got all these analogies going through my brain right now.
Yeah.
It's like if Michael Jordan wasn't 6'6", right? He's the only person in his family over 6 feet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He was 6'6". Came in the 80s at like the perfect moment in time, right?
Yes.
He had a grind, everything. I feel like with Matt, it's like he has the hustle.
He has it.
Right? And he's in the right environment.
Right.
Right? You can't have like the hustle and be out in Wichita, Kansas. Or you can't have...
We're bringing him right here with us.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like it gotta all match. I just finished Damon John's book.
Yeah.
Like
you 2 for 2 this year.
I'm 4 for 4 right now, baby. I'm 4 for 4 in the month of January.
Wow.
I read.
Does Demetrius know this?
I read that the average millionaire reads 4 books a month.
I heard about that. Yeah.
So I'm trying to I'm saying.
But I'm about to finish my second book this month. When you said it, this is like the 5th time you said the thing about the 4 books, by the way.
Oh,
I just want to tell the rest.
Is it the 5th time?
Yeah, the 1st time I've heard it.
And be shocked.
Yeah. And I basically decided when you said it, I was like, I'm not reading 4 books a month. I just decided it, right?
Because you're already a multi-millionaire.
No. Don't try that.
Don't come for him.
I immediately just said I'm not reading 4 books, but I'm gonna read at least 1 book a month. So
I was going to just turn more podcasts. That's all I'm gonna do.
You're gonna
listen to books.
Huge.
If he's gonna read 4, I can listen to 8.
You can listen to 8. Yes.
Well, and the other piece of it, it's just like it's learning more, right?
Yeah.
But back to Damon John.
Yes.
When he was making FUBU, the people who he was around,
right?
It was like, you got LL, you got J-Lo, you got NSYNC, you got like all these people were in his like ecosystem,
right?
So it's like you have no choice but to get better, right?
Mm-hmm. And I had a clothing line at that time too. It didn't go anywhere.
Really? What was your clothing line?
Dream Chaser.
Oh, okay. All right. Anti-Can't is about to blow up. I got people. The other day, my boy was working at Barnes and Noble in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
He had on a hoodie. This lady came up and was like, "Oh my gosh, ordered!" And then now she's like on TikTok doing stuff with the Anti-Can't.
Oh,
I'm like, yo,
that's all you need,
man.
You just needed one influencer.
Oh my goodness.
You should give. You know what you should do? Give her stuff free. Like once you give her stuff, because those are the type of people you need. Because she'll If you give her a hoodie a month, that'd be worth it.
Oh my
Because
God.
she'll go crazy.
Right now.
I wrote down when I was, at home for those 3 days or whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, in purgatory, down in the basement, just
Right.
They couldn't go visit them, throwing his food down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't see my kids, I ain't see my wife, I could hear them upstairs, but I couldn't see. It was the work.
Yeah.
But I wrote down all of the people, like all of the influences. I got local, I got in entertainment, in sports, in social media, like all the people who I'm just gonna start throwing stuff
Send it
at
out there. Yo, never stop dreaming is what I say. All right, so Jesse, you came. I saw you had your book today. So I think we're gonna do I think we're gonna start off. The last time you came, you didn't do your fatherhood monologue, and I think we might as well take a moment, let you do your fatherhood monologue, let you talk about your book. So the next few minutes of the show is you, man. Let's
All right.
So but why don't we tell the people a little bit about the fatherhood monologues, and then just go into your monologue.
All right. So the Fatherhood Manologues, as you all know, is one of the initiatives of the Manhood Tree, and founded by brother Abdul-Rahmaan Muhammad, right? I don't know the whole. I was trying to.
That's
You know
good.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so for me, it was an opportunity. Like, you called and said, "Hey, I want you to write something about fatherhood, right?" And it could be about being a father, or it could be about being fathered. And so I began to think about it. And I didn't even know like where I was. Like when I was like on Woodland Ave, like driving, I was like, yo, you know what? What am I gonna say? And I thought about the fact that like my father, I feel like my father is the best father ever. Like I can't think of anyone else that I would think of would be a greater father, than my dad, right? And then at the same time I have 3 girls. And so I often think about the lessons that my brother and I got to be, young men, and what lessons can I pull out or what can I change in order to make sure that my daughters become, solid young women. And so my monologue is along the lines of that, and it's called Lessons from My Father's Generation. I'm going to try to do this while sitting. JJ? Yes, Dad? I need you to clean your room, son. Yes, Dad. Dad? Yes, JJ? Why do I always have to clean my room? Because that's your contribution to this family. And if a man doesn't work, he shouldn't eat. JJ? Yes, Dad? It's time for us to go to church. Yes, Dad. Dad? Yes, JJ? Why do we always have to go to church? Because you have to understand that there's someone greater than you. He is the only one greater than you. And you have to take time to give him reverence. Knowing who he is, you understand who you are. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are the lender and not the borrower. You were created in the image of God Almighty. And because he is the creator, you are creative. Because he is king, he has given you dominion over all the earth. You dominate. You're anointed, you are blessed, and you are covered by the blood of Jesus. Dad? Yes, JJ? You think I could make it to the NBA? Well, nothing beats a failure but a try. What is that supposed to mean? It means that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And it also means that if you don't try, then you already have your answer. Dad? Yes, Jesse? I think I'm going to ask her to marry me. Are you sure? Well, understand this. That when you're married, everything is your responsibility. If there's no food on the table, that's your responsibility. If she walks out on you, that's your responsibility. And one day, you're going to have children, my grandchildren, and they too will be your responsibility. And there's no getting out of that until death do you part. Jesse? Yes, Dad? I'm proud of you, son. You're a grown man. You have a family of your own. You're a pillar in your community. And you're now raising the next generation. Mm-hmm. Sadie? Yes, Daddy? I need you to clean your room, baby. Yes, Daddy. Dad? Yes, Sadie? Why do I always have to clean my room? Because you have to understand that that's your contribution to this family. And a virtuous woman is skilled with her hands. Sarah? Yes, Dad? It's time to go to church. Yes, Daddy. Dad? Yes, Sarah? Why do we always have to go to church? Because you have to understand that there's someone greater than you. He's the only one greater than you. And you have to take time to give him reverence. Understand that it's only through knowledge of him that you understand who you are. You understand that you are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are the lender and not the borrower. You were created in the image of God Almighty. And because he is the creator, you are created. Because he is king, he has given you dominion over all the earth. You dominate, baby. You're anointed, you are blessed, and you are covered by the blood of Jesus. Savannah? Daddy? Yes, Vanna? You think I can make it to the NBA? Well, nothing beats a failure but a try. You see, I rarely get the opportunity to watch TV. But when I do, I often pay attention to the father's role in the family. Unfortunately, nowadays, the father is often relegated to the babbling buffoon that the mother bosses around. But I'm so grateful to God that that was not my story. I have a father who loved us hard. Sometimes I wish he wouldn't love us so hard. But I understand now that he was trying to teach us how to be tough guys and to be gentlemen. My father didn't graduate college. As a matter of fact, he doesn't have a degree to this day. But he made sure that my brother and I between us have 5 degrees. I remember it like it was yesterday. I went to the mailbox, pulled out my diploma. I ran upstairs to his room. He was laid diagonally across the bed. And when he saw my diploma, a single solitary tear came running down his chocolate brown face. To this day, I've only seen my father cry a few times, when he was filled with the Spirit, when my grandmother passed, and when I graduated from college. They say that the mark of a good man is that his children want to emulate, transcend his work. My father made sure that my brother and I learned how to be tough, how to be focused, and how to be disciplined. He taught us how to love our wives by the way he loves our mother. And he is still teaching us as he transitions through various ages and stages of life. He is the epitome of Black fatherhood. Thank you. So that's my Manologue.
So what was the process like of pulling together the Manologue and being a part of the Fatherhood Manologue performances and workshops and so on and so forth?
I'll say it's been an amazing process, something that's pulled out of me more than I thought that I had in me. I speak and I preach and teach, but this is different, right? There's a little bit of like acting that goes into it. There's a little bit of performance that goes into it. And so it's been like, first, I wrote it, and I think I shared it with you first, like, this is what I'm thinking. And this was like right before COVID happened, and we were preparing to go to University of St. Joseph's and all of that kind of stuff. And at first, I can remember having a stand and just like putting my monologue right there and like reading through it.
Right.
And it was just really just standing there like talking, And then from there, we hooked up with Godfrey.
Yep.
And Godfrey, as we know, is a thespian, right? He's an actor, right? And we did it via Zoom because now we were fully into the throes of COVID. And I remember standing in my office at home and having my computer, and he's like, "Why don't you like look over, like you're looking over to your father? And is your father taller than you? Is he shorter than you? Is he?" And so I'm like always looking up at my dad, and all right, so he has to look down at me, and maybe you need to turn and like. all of that kind of stuff. And then we kept rehearsing it.
Right.
And one thing that I admire about even this process is it's taught me different things about life, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can't just, I think sometimes when you're talented in a certain area or gifted in a certain area, you take for granted the fact that you really still do have to practice.
Right.
It's just like we were talking earlier, I'll get up and wing it.
Yeah.
And you might wing it and everybody else feels like, oh, well, you know what, that's decent.
Yeah.
But it could be phenomenal.
It's true.
If you just put practice into it. And so, being able to like practice, getting to points where you really do like think about it. And like, I remember one of the sessions, it was around the time when George Floyd was murdered. And we actually shot right across the street from where I lived in Keeney Park. Mm-hmm. And so, just standing in that space and seeing my old house and walking past my old house, being in my old neighborhood and doing my Manologue brought back feelings and brought back memories of like being in that house when I learned these lessons.
Right.
And that right there was like it was a cathartic moment. It was a moment where I really had to be introspective and like look at like all of the places that we've gone, the things that we've done. Mm-hmm. And so to have that even, on camera and being able to go back and see that all, like it's been a very, very special journey. Very special journey.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate your being a part of the Manologues and continuing to be a part of what we're going to do in the future. I feel like we still have some work to do. Mm-hmm. So you have your book, one of your books, right?
That's right.
Talk about it. This is for kids.
Yeah, so this is called A for Affirm. It was written by me, and as you can see, it was illustrated by my daughter, Savannah, right?
Nice.
And the reason for this book is I feel like there's so many, especially working in the school system, mm-hmm. you see so many children who don't know who they are. Mm-hmm. They don't know why they were created.
Right.
They don't know like where they're going, and nobody's affirming them and telling them like you're like phenomenal, like you're great.
Right.
I think sometimes when we're living in something, we don't see how great we are. Mm-hmm. It's almost like that, 6'7" guy who doesn't know that like, hey, you got some gifts that you don't even know that you have, right? Mm-hmm. Or that person who can sing but thinks, oh, this is just normal.
Right.
It's like no. There's somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they said something and it made me think about like how we need to manage our normal. Like, mm-hmm. To you it might be normal, but for somebody else it's phenomenal.
Right.
So you really need to manage that and don't downplay it, because when you downplay it, mm-hmm. You're not helping anybody else, mm-hmm. and they're looking at you like, man, if they're great and they're not, they're not, I can't do anything.
Right.
So you got to really be happy. And so I feel like with this book, it's a way. It's written in a very, very simple form. It's the ABCs. Mm-hmm. So it's educational for young kids, but at the same time, it gives them, some insight into who they are, right? I'm an example of a believer. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm intelligent. I'm joyful. If you're a child and you hear this every single day,
right,
when you grow up, you have no choice but to have a positive self-image.
I agree.
And people with a positive self-image, those are the people who do great things.
I love it. Where can they get that book?
You can get it on Amazon.
Sorry.
You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. Go to A is for Affirm, or just reach out to me. Jesse at KingdomCultureLLC.com, and shoot me an email, and we'll send you a book.
All right. Before I start coughing up a storm in here, let's do our beard update of the week. Let's see. Zoe, let's see how your beard is looking this week. Same.
No.
We didn't.
We don't want no beard, man.
Zoe's beard hasn't grown at all. Good. But my beard is coming back very strongly, folks. I'm in week 3 or week 4 of my beard coming back.
It was gone?
Yo, I never want to see my chin again.
I'm mad about the fact that your office thinks. I think I'm gonna write an email. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on mypeopleclinicalservices.com,
yeah,
where they have like the about or contact us.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say something.
Email comes to me. You're just gonna get it. Send it. Go ahead. I'm gonna respond to you. It comes straight to me. Listen, yeah, my beard is looking great. If you look at the picture over here in the corner behind Zoe, that's what we're going for.
Photoshop.
That's not Photoshop. That's what,
like cotton down.
That's what my beard used to look like.
What kind of hair is that?
I don't know what kind of hair you have, but that's my beard. And it's coming back. So slowly but surely, by June, I'll be full bearded out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he keeps pushing the months back.
What did I say before?
By March, I'll be alright.
No,
by April. By Christmas. By
June. By Father's Day, my beard. When we do that running on Father's Day, I will be.
What's this run, walk, run? Yeah. Just doing stuff.
We're doing a run on Father's Day. Man, you haven't been around, man. You better come to the meetings.
Too busy reading books, man.
Yeah, while you're reading books, we're having meetings, bro.
We're podcasting. We're doing real life.
Yeah. All right. On February the 24th, we are having our first men's health event of the year. This is going to be at the Connecticut Institute for Primary Care and Innovations. That's 260 Ashley Street in Hartford, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. It's going to be from 10 to 2 p.m. This is the event that we invite everybody out. So I know you've been to an event. We want you to come back because it's the beginning of the year. It's a new year. We might as well get our tests. We're going to have the doctors there. We're going to have questions, all of that good stuff. I'm even thinking about doing a food demonstration. Like, have somebody come in and chef something up. Okay. So just come in. My people are going to be doing a stress test. You got somebody?
Well, no, I'm saying I like this event so much. You know why?
Why?
Because I have some friends who always, I try to tell you, I'm not from the planet Earth.
Oh, you want to show how healthy you are?
I can do certain things that other people just can't do.
Yeah.
I think that's why I got it, because I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I got a couple friends here. Oh, you got to stop eating candy. You got to stop doing
this. And I tell you stuff like that.
Yeah. But I went to the health event. They were like, "Oh my gosh,
you're doing great."
Yeah. So I was like, "Yo, that's what I'm talking about, baby." But
we know how to get in. We know how to get in his head.
That's the last one he came to. I remember the last one because I followed you around the video.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, every shot. I was like, yeah, I love Zoe. Like, that's me again. That's me.
You also have to mention the
man up. I was gonna say you should let me do all 28 of them.
No, not the man up. The care one. The self-care Saturdays.
We don't have another one set yet.
Oh yeah, I want to go to that.
We do have
Pilates.
No, we're doing yoga.
Yoga.
We got yes, that's gonna be in April. We got time to run.
Yeah. Y'all got your feet done last time. I was like,
you should have came to that.
It's nice.
Nah,
I'm going back. Yeah, we're gonna do yoga with.
I've been trying to go back. My wife, she ain't want to go. Come on, I want to go back. You don't want to go.
We're gonna do yoga with Kevin Booker in April. So we're gonna get a group of men together, do yoga together. Just stretch ourselves out.
Right there. So you could have been. Look at that, man.
What about man up, the man up minute? Are we gonna do that for next month?
We need Saturday's the first. I need one.
Just let me do all of them.
I need one on Saturday.
Let me just do all of them. I'll come to your office. I'll do them all, yo.
What is it? All right, so we're trying to do give you a minute. I'm gonna cut you off. You can just talk, but I'm gonna cut it off in the edit anyway. But give you a minute to talk about being a man somehow. Like the Manologue was being fathered or having a kid or whatever. So in this minute, you can talk about whatever you want. It can just be about men.
1 minute.
60 seconds. Something hot. 60 seconds. Be like And then the thing is, you can say a bunch of stuff. I'll put it together and talk for 2 minutes, and I'll take the best minute out of it too.
Yep.
Type thing.
I'll shoot a video tomorrow, welcoming people. What are we doing Saturday? You want to do it Saturday?
Saturday is the day it has to come out.
Well, you gotta put one out on Saturday.
What is Saturday? What day is Saturday?
Saturday is the 3rd. February. But I gotta go to. Yeah, I got a meeting Saturday.
And I'm Saturday. Friday's Groundhog Day, by the way. So I'll throw that out.
It's supposed to come out on Thursday.
We're gonna do it every. Oh, you know what? We never said what day of the month.
Yeah, that's cool.
We got. No, it's supposed to come out every day. Was I gonna do 28?
Every day for February.
I was gonna do 28 brothers like we did a couple of years ago. We did the fatherhood thing.
We lost the week because of COVID.
Oh. So like I need
people at my people clinical services.
When are you gonna just
set up the camera? It's a public service announcement. I did not give Abdul.
Nobody said you gave
You
COVID.
said that it's going around the office that I
That's
gave
what the
you
word
COVID.
on the street was.
Oh my God.
I'm just giving you the word on the street.
That's how cats be talking about you behind your back.
I know they do.
Choose your enemies wisely. That's what I'm saying.
That's the book you just read.
That's right. I'm never telling nobody else if I ever get sick again in my life.
My wife was like, it was Jesse.
Oh, man,
it was
Jesse. They shall. It was not me.
All right. Talk about some manhood-ish you did this week. In the last 7 days, some manhood-ish you did.
Manhood stuff that I did?
Yeah.
I love my wife this week.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I love my children. I gave my children some advice. Savannah's in college. She's like, Dad, what should I do about this situation? Boom, I hit her with the advice.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? I called my child's school to tell them something. Like, I sent them an email about my child. I went out running.
Wow.
At like 8:30 at night.
We usually stop at 1.
Oh, hey, I do a lot of...
keep rolling.
You know what I'm saying? I got bears and coyotes and bobcats in my neighborhood, but I'm out there just me, Dolo, with Peace 1 and Peace 2. Hey. Come on. That's some manhood stuff right there.
We're gonna take all of those for both of us. Unless you got something.
I don't know if I can add on to that.
So you got anything you want to
did some of those things, except the tigers and bears things or something. I did some of those things.
Okay. All right. We're gonna wrap up with a little brotherly advice. Jesse, I'm gonna save you for last. Zoe, you're first.
A little brotherly advice. Give back. Give what you've learned in your life. If you feel it's valuable, even if you don't, other people see value in you and you don't. Like how you're saying, they don't see nothing in themselves. Someone else say, "Hey, you got some value." Share it with other kids, because some kids need to find somebody like you in them, kind of to continue. Because some kids are in themselves, especially nowadays, bullying and cyberbullying, all these things. So give your knowledge and information you have, information that you have to the younger generation, the kids are looking for.
So this weekend, I was as a Muslim, you're supposed to pray 5 times a day, and I find it hard to do sometimes. But this weekend I was intentional to make sure that I prayed, and I'm telling you, it felt really good to get those prayers in at the time that you're supposed to pray, doing what you're supposed to do. And so what I would just throw out there, my little brotherly advice is, connect to the Most High in the way that you do. In the best way. If you're a Muslim, do it through the way you do. If you're Christian, if you're a Buddhist, whatever it is you do, connect to the Most High, because I think that it's always important for us to remember that there's something greater than us. That's right. There's something greater than us. As a man, there's something greater than us. And so we need to be able to connect and put our belief in and pray. And maybe we'll get one of the things it's crazy. My TikTok is filled with mostly like Islamic stuff. They just, because I watch all the video all the way out. So I'm learning so much stuff. It's like it's you could be a Muslim your whole life and you can still learn so much stuff. And I've been learning so much stuff. And today, one of the TikToks I came across, the imam was talking about wudu. Every time you pray, you do wudu, and it's like basically cleaning your body. It's cleansing yourself. And but he was saying how every time you do wudu, it wipes away your sins. And one of the things that I've been noticing about Al-Islam is I pay more attention. Everything that you do, it is a setup to like wipe away your sins. And so it's like, imagine that there was so much talk about forgiveness, right? So if you ask God for forgiveness today, He's going to forgive you of all your sins. And it had me sitting there thinking, like, so why is it that you got to do all this good if you could just ask for forgiveness and you were going to get it? But that's the thing, is like, that's how great God is that no matter what you've done, so I just pray.
Come on now.
Get your belief on.
I'm going to preach.
And now it's time for you. I'm passing it to you. What's your right advice?
So just to like piggyback off of that a little bit is we believe like in the cross, right? And there are 2 like beams right with the cross, the 2 points of it. And the first one is vertical, and that has to do with your relationship between you and God.
Right.
But then the second one is horizontal, and that's your relationship with your brother, right? And so my advice to whoever is listening would be to surround yourself with positive people, right? Think about like the 5 people who you really emulate, who you know, and it might not be you emulate them as like an entirety, but like an aspect of who that person is,
right?
And be near that person, right?
Yeah.
Because I truly do believe that iron sharpens iron, and the closer that you are with people who you respect, who you emulate, who are going to hold you accountable, who have a standard for their lives, then you'll start to develop those things. And so that's my piece, right?
I love
develop brotherhood with other people.
That's what the show's all about, guys. We're out of here. It's been another episode of the Manhood Tree Podcast. Come back next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. We'll be here, and we'll be talking about some good stuff. I'm going to say to you guys, never stop dreaming, and peace.